Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. At least it's not the screen that I've subjected you to 3 times a lady. Apologies, I just spilt some of my Monster up my screen as I was ready to go live, so I just had to quickly run and get some tissue rather than let it sit and fester there. Please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit the notification bell. I hope you're all doing well this morning. Thank you, everyone, for your kind messages, support, and everything last night. It's been great. Look, today, after this stream, I'm going to be jumping straight onto Twitch. If you want to join me over there, just doing some Ultimate Team. Any suggestions, you know where I'm at. So if you want to join me, because I play it anyway, so, I'm going to say the link to my Twitch is just going in the chat now. So if you want to join us over there after this, I'm going to be there for a couple of hours. Then if any news drops on Leeds United, then we'll drop off. We'll jump back to YouTube. We'll we'll do some more work, etc. Love that from Stu Palmer. Stu Palmer says, big up yourself, Joe. I acknowledge you, my Leeds chief. We the ones, baby. We the ones. We the ones, brother. Tonight as well, we were going to do the scouting report, the final episode. We're keeping you on tenterhooks of the attackers and wingers, but Andrea's still bad. Andrea's got to go for an operation. He went to the dentist and was bad, and now he's got to go for an operation. So send your love to Andrea, please, if you can. Look, new show dropping on Thursday with the Yorkshire boys. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Any suggestions, let me know in the chat. But myself and the rest of the Yorkshire teams, Huddersfield, Rotherham, Hull, Chef Wednesday and ourselves will be getting together on a weekly basis, hopefully when the season starts. But we're just going to do a pod on Thursday and just welcoming everyone, really. And just to get a chat and chinwag and their thoughts ahead of the season. There's going to be more. I'm thinking of bringing back the Top Flight News Bite, just with a different content creator from one of the teams in the Premier League, just chatting about Premier League news. We're going to be moving. We're going to be moving. Listen, we'll be live on Wednesday as well. Obviously, Leeds United take on Manchester United at 4:00. So make sure you look out for that. But today's episode, as I say, I'm going to be bringing you these daily and probably on an evening as well. So keep it locked on the Just Joe Football Show as per. We're going to be chatting about the latest Leeds United news, right? So please make sure you smash a like on the video and, subscribe. Graham, sorry for your loss, brother. I hope you're doing well. What's the latest on ins and outs? Well, that's what you're here for, right? I'm going to give you the latest on the ins and outs today, and we'll have a chat about it and see what are going on. So let's start then with, this is a news piece from Marching On Together. And to be honest, I don't think it's too far away from what's been mentioned on this. Let me just shoot on over there to this article, which states, okay, at least 6 new faces are expected at Ellen Road. Let me know in the chat, folks, where you believe them. Let's say, for example, it is 6. Where are them 6 fitting? Where are they featuring? Who's the 6? Is it a goalkeeper, a left back, a couple of centre mids and an attacker? You know, let me know your thoughts. Is it because for me, I would argue I'd stick with one goalkeeper, and we're going to talk about big up Stace. We're going to talk about Darlow later on. Ideally, we need 2 left backs, but I'd rather that money's spent elsewhere. So for me personally, I'd just bring in 1 left back and have Leauge or Pascal Struijk as a backup if needed. So I would bring in 1 left back. I'd bring in, like Luke W says in the chat, I believe I would bring in about 3 midfielders. We need a couple of number 10s, and then also someone else in the middle of the park. We need a new striker. Maybe even 2, and potentially a winger, depending on what happens with Somerville and Rutter. I get everyone wanting 2 left backs, but if, let's say, for example, you've only got a certain amount of money, you bring in a really, really top one, and you also have Hjelde or Struijk as backup to that left back if needed, okay? Because you might not even need him. You might not even need that backup left back, but I understand the need for 2. I'm just thinking funds-wise, it might be better if we slosh that about elsewhere. But yeah, look, Leeds are confident of bringing in at least 6 new faces to Ellen Road, but only once they have trimmed down their wage bill. We know that Lorente Koch and Brendan Aronson have all left. Robles and Forshaw, who were both invited back to pre-season, have decided not to return. I think that's more a case of waiting for EFL ratification and their agents saying, look, you stay away. What if they were to go back and train and get injured? It's not something they're going to do. Hence, for me, why we're seeing Harrison, Sinisterra to an extent, and maybe even Adams not being involved yet. I know they're injuries, but I look at someone like Harrison and like, when's he picked up this injury? He's been smashing it pre-season. On all the videos that we see him do online. So what's he doing? But they've got to protect themselves, because if they are looking for a move, why are you going to get involved? Because if you got injured, then you move scuppered. I'm sorry, we have to be realistic about it. Yeah, so according to the article, it suggests Leeds are in the market for a new keeper, a centre-back, a right-back, a left-back. I don't know about the right-back shout. Left-back, winger and striker. They've already lost 4 midfielders from last season. If you count McKennie with Mark Rocker's switch to Real Betis imminent. And with that, let's just shoot on over here to Twitter. Because Fabrizio Romano has give it the here we go. Finally, I mean, it's been the world's worst secret, isn't it? But yeah, Betis have a full agreement in place with Leeds United for Mark Rocker to join on loan with a buy option clause, which is good. Hector Bellerin has also agreed terms with Betis today as well. He's ready to return to the club. So Mark Rocker linking up with ex-Arsenal Hector Bellerin over in Spain. Good luck to him. A lot of these players are failing upwards, aren't they? Aronson's gone to play in the Champions League. Llorente's gone to play in Europe. Rocker's going to go play in Europe. It's a bit of a mad one, if you ask me. But hey, we move. No worries. Let's see. Big up to Andrea, who's just sent me a quick message. Send your love over to Andrea as well if you haven't already. Right. Okay. So let's move on. So 6 new faces are coming now. There is a piece here just about Ed Wootton. Ed Wootton, obviously, is our new goalkeeping coach that we brought in from Norwich City. And they're saying what that could do is help acquire Norwich goalkeeper Angus Gunn. Okay. Look, Leeds United have tracked Angus Gunn for quite some time. I don't think we're actually in there. I personally don't think we're actually making moves for an Angus Gunn, like the piece says. Opinion piece. It is just that. It's one of them where Leeds United have been linked in the past. Could they move? Well, if they did, surely they will have a leg up, because we have their goalkeeping coach now, Ed Wootton, who's joined Leeds United from Norwich City. So therefore, he'll have a relationship with Angus Gunn. But for me, I'm not sure what Angus Gunn's valued at, but I think he'd be a lot harder to get than Darlow, which is mad when you consider Dallow's in the Premier League and Angus Gunn is in the Championship. But I just think, I'm assuming he's Norwich's number 1. Maybe I should know this, to be honest. We've got a lot of learning to do about the teams that we're going to be coming up against, for sure. We've only been gone 3 years, and I feel like I'm so out of touch with the Championship, but it is what it is. We move. Look, according to Transfermarkt, he has a market value there of 2.5 million. Obviously, previously at Southampton, spent time on loan at Stoke and then was sold to Norwich City. His value is decreasing. He's getting on a little bit now as well. 27, I know that's still prime age, but yeah, Angus Gunn, like the piece says, it's more of an opinion piece. I don't see Leeds United being in a position to or want to be in a position to move for Karl Darlow. Which brings me on nicely because I want to chat about this. So, surely for me now, this signals the end for Karl Darlow, even though he knew his time was up at Newcastle anyway, because they do have Nick Pope underneath that. They have Dubravka, and now they've just announced the signature of Loris Karius. Okay, so over the weekend, Newcastle confirmed that Loris Karius has penned a new 12-month deal at St James's Park. So what does that mean for Karl Darlow? Well, he's now fourth choice. So Karl Darlow is leaving. I think Newcastle are preparing for that. We've got a Geordie Toon for life who says Darlow would be fantastic, but for Leeds, a very reliable keeper. Go get him. Yeah, I would go get him. He's been linked for about 5 million, mate. I think it's a no-brainer. Yeah, we'll wait and see. But yeah, Geordie, 2 for life, says Darlow would be fantastic for Leeds. And I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. I think, look, I wouldn't have minded someone like Karius, to be honest, or Kelleher, who's at Liverpool. I know he had that fateful night in the Champions League, but these things happen. It's really stunted his growth, I assume, because he's going in at Newcastle as maybe the number 3, but it is what it is. Look, there was chat of Karl Darlow being, competed for by Leeds United and Bournemouth, and if indeed he chooses Bournemouth, it shows a lack of ambition for me. So crack on. At that stage, I'm like, crack on. I ain't asked. If you want to go there, then go there. We move. But yeah, so he'll come in at Leeds United and be number 1. And the fact that Newcastle have now gone out and signed Loris Karius, it just signals the end, doesn't it? It's game over. It's time to move on and come and state your claim at Leeds United. Come and state your claim at Leeds United. Just staying with Newcastle as well. Again, I've not seen massively credible links. This is a piece done by the Newcastle World. But they're linking us again. We touched on it briefly last night. But we're linked again to Ryan Fraser. So it could be a double swoop at Newcastle. I don't see it. I'm not too enamoured with Ryan Fraser. Do I think he could do a job for us in the Championship? Yes, 100%. But I prefer us going for this profile of younger, up-and-coming, but have already done their bits, whereas Ryan Fraser, I'm not sure how old he is, actually. I don't want to do him a disservice, but he feels like he's been around for a while, doesn't he? Obviously been at Bournemouth and Newcastle before that. He's valued at 6 million. He's 29-year-old. For me, we stay away from Ryan Fraser, to be honest. He would do a good job in the Championship. Don't get me wrong. He would be totally fine in that division. But I just prefer us going for someone like, I know they're not the same position, but age profile wise, and that have done it in the league of like your likes of Gus Hamer, etc. Even Sam Surridge to an extent. I would prefer Sam Surridge over a Ryan Fraser. I do think Ryan Fraser's probably better right now, but I just think in terms of age profile and what we're trying to do at Leeds United, I don't see the need to bring in Ryan Fraser. But as I say, it is being reported that Leeds United have been looking at him and Karl Darlow. I believe the Karl Darlow one, I'm not so much in love with the Fraser one. I've not seen it come from any credible sources as of yet. But look, there we go. There's the Sky report about us being interested in Karl Darlow. I think it'd be a smart move. Look, he's been at Newcastle for 9 years, quite some time now. They were just on Fraser. Newcastle Newcastle want to offload the Scottish international after falling out with the Magpies, Eddie Howe, earlier this year. As a result, Fraser was told to trade. Listen, this is another thing. I didn't actually know that he'd fallen out with Eddie Howe. I did not know that. But that's twice now. I knew they had history after Bournemouth because he refused to play, right? Because he was trying to get a move when Bournemouth got relegated. Yeah. And then he then gets a move to Newcastle, and obviously Eddie Howe turns up at Newcastle. They've got history. But that's two teams now. And Eddie Howe seems like a nice bloke, but he's probably holding a little bit of a grudge because he refused to play before he got his move. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that he's been frozen out twice, I do believe it's agent talk. I don't see it. Like this is never a good look, is it? This is never a good look. Speaking in March, Howe revealed Ryan's training with the under-21s. I made the decision to concentrate on players that are committed to Newcastle for the benefit of the group. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe Geordie will tell you, tell us a little bit more. But yeah. On if Fraser had a future, I think that's a difficult one for me to answer because I've never put a firm decision on that because life and football can change quickly. But I'd say at the moment, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Matty says, hope you're well, bro. Seeing that you want to do this full time, so here's a little help for you. I'd look at Zayn Fleming at Millwall. Solid cam and had numerous goal contributions last season. Big up to you, Matty. Thank you so much for your support, brother. That means a lot. I hope you're smashing the YouTube game as well. Geordie says, Joe, he's been training with the under-21s for the last 6 months, and it takes a lot for Howe to do that. That's my thing as well, because Howe seems like a nice guy. Yeah. So yeah, Resurge One says, out of interest, why do you lot hate Charlie Taylor? Basically, he refused to play Resurge One, if you believe what's read, but he refused to play before his move to Burnley. I didn't know, but he's actually done an interview about this. I did not know, and Dan Moylan mentioned this, where he came out and said he was poorly advised, etc. It was probably his agent. He was a young lad. He wanted to get a move to the Premier League. I get it. He also just says to it's Matty, you're never getting Fleming Burnley. We have like bid 8 million for him, if not more. There you go. You're making moves, Burnley. Just signed the kid from Dortmund, I believe, and obviously James Trafford as well. Yeah, so there we go. And let's swip over just onto Burnley. And the reason I want to do that is because, yeah, Ryan Fraser, no for me, by the way. I just wanted to bring this up. Breaking news, okay? I'll just quickly share this with you. Breaking news over on Sky Sports that Burnley are in the process of signing Suleiman Koulibaly. He's having a medical ahead of a proposed move to Burnley from Borussia Dortmund. The reason I bring that up is because he's a centre-back, right? Charlie Taylor has been playing on the left of a back three for Burnley, playing at centre-back at times, I believe. Maybe not in a back three, but I know he's been playing at centre-back. They had the kid, Mattison, on loan from Chelsea playing at left back. So that for me means Charlie Taylor's available. His minutes are going to come. I think Charlie Taylor will be more than open to the move, having come through Leeds United, still holds a fondness. And I think it'd be good for him to come back and get Leeds back in the Premier League. Would I rather him over Manning? Me personally, no. And you know, if from what I've been hearing, Manning could be done. Manning could be done. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I think before we can get any deals over the line, we're waiting on EFL ratification. But if not, they'll just have to go cap in hand to Andre Radrazani and say, help us sign this player, please. I think Carl Darlow, I think Manning, we could see them coming this week. There you go. Research One just says him and Trafford are both having medicals this morning, just on Koulibaly and James Trafford at Burnley. And yeah, Joe, if you Chazza, is that what you call him, Chazza? He will be available this summer. I can confirm that. I would personally want 5 million for him. Again, that's a snip. I think it's a snip. And like you said, and like Gil said, Gil Saville, that's so true as well. Why not get them both? Because you're not having to actually pay for Manning. And the money you've saved from loaning out Aronson or Koch probably pays for them both. But if money is at a premium, then I'd argue, let's just get one and have Strauch or Hjelde as backup. Hjelde's done it in the Championship with Rotherham last season. And of course, we know that Strauch can do it. He did it at the Premier League, you know, is what it is. Right. Just on Championship players now, let's switch on over. This news about Gus Hamer, I can't lie, it worried me a little bit because Leeds United have a challenge in acquiring Gus Hamer. Okay, that challenge is coming from Premier League Fulham. Now, I'm not in any way situation trying to say that Fulham are better than Leeds United, are a bigger club than Leeds United. I don't know why that's not. That's not working. Sorry, I'll just refresh it. It looks like it's frozen for whatever reason. Just one moment. Won't let me scroll down. Right there, we're underway. Let me get that shared back for you. Isn't it quite interesting on that photo as well? There's a picture of Alex Mowat for Borough. There we go. Look, Alex Mowat. Do you remember him? Yeah, so Fulham want Hamer. Fulham are ready to challenge Leeds United for Coventry City midfielder Gus Hamer. The Brazil midfielder has been linked with a move to Ellen Road this summer, but has also caught the eye of Premier League outfits Brighton and Brentford. Listen, if any of them clubs are in for him, we're out of it. We move, right? Just move on to the next target. One thing I don't want to see Leeds United do is like the old regime used to dilly-dally on a target. Look at Charles de Ketelaere. Radrazani never wanted to pay that money because he came out and did an interview and said, if only I'd have gone to Milan sooner, we'd have got him done. So why don't you fecking go, you big gimp? Do you know what I mean? That's the reality of the situation. You didn't want to go because you didn't want to spend the money. Look at Cody Gakpo. We just tracked these players for so long. And admittedly, if you look at it, you look at like Rodrigo de Paul, you look at Gvardiol, you look at some of these players, they're ballers. They're ballers. But ultimately, when they're saying, no, we're not up for it, move on. Now, if Gus Hamer is deliberating that, then just move on. As much as I want Gus Hamer, because he's absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's no joke what that lad does or has done in the Championship. And I'll share that with you now, because just to look at visually, like, you can see just how good he's been. Gustavo Hamer. I just like the name as well. It's really nice, isn't it? Gustavo. I'd love a name like Gustavo. I don't think I could get away with calling any of my kids Gustavo, though. What do you reckon? Right, okay. So if I just show you this, so aesthetically, it is phenomenal when you look at FB Revington, where he rates percentile-wise to people in similar divisions to him over the last year. If you look at where he is, he's rated within the top 97% of footballers for assists, for, goals, shot-created actions. He's right up there. So I can understand why Leeds United, and to be honest, I'm surprised it's not a clean sweep from the Premier League, to be honest. Because if they do enter the race, then we're done for. But I guess, again, it's up to Nick Hammond, it's up to Angus to sell him the thing of, like, you will get us back in. Do you know? There's only one Gustavo Fring. What a guy, by the way. Do you know what, man? When Thingy blows him up, it's amazing, isn't it? Sorry for any spoilers, but when he's clicking the click and he just blows him up, it's mental. Breaking Bad is phenomenal, by the way. Yeah, so like aesthetically wise, just to look at, if you're a numbers man, again, I like to look at them to give me an idea. I don't know the ins and outs, I prefer the eye test personally, but no, just to look at, though, it's no joke, is it? So, I think, is it any wonder that we are being challenged by the likes of Fulham? The answer's no. Yeah, Better Call Saul's seen that as well. Brilliant. I don't think it's clear, though, not for me. So Fulham want Hamer. So now they're being linked. In terms of what he's worth, it's not much. And I just think Premier League clubs can afford to take a gamble more so than Leeds United. He's valued currently around about 8 million. If I remember rightly, is he coming towards the end of his deal, or is that just Manning? Let me just have a look at the Championship and have a look at Coventry City. We've probably looked at this before, but my memory is brutal. So if we look at Capology, which is a site that tells you how much people are raised, again, if it's got the green tick, it means it's been verified. Okay. So there you go. So according to this, Gus Hamer is on about $6,000 a week. He's only got 2 years left as well. So if they're going to cash in, they have to cash in now. But the issue is, I guess, with Coventry, losing Gus Hamer and also losing Gyökeres, what does that do for them? Bringing in a fee for Gyökeres maybe means they can keep hold of Hamer and say, no, unless you pay 10, 12. And then at which point, I think for me, we might be out of the race personally. But yeah, look, it's going to be tough to get him in. The longer it rumbles on, the harder it's going to be as well. So we need to get our shit in order. And ideally, if the EFL can hurry up as well, we might see some players come in this week. I'm expecting Ryan Manning and Carl Darlow to be the first through the door. There we go. So they're just touching on Fulham there. And they have said, however, Premier League interest could scupper any move for Hamer, with Coventry under pressure to sell following Gyökeres's 20 million move to Sporting Lisbon. There you go. But does that mean they can wade it off a bit? Because they're getting 20 million for Gyökeres. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But when I seen it, I was disappointed because I was like, if he's going to move there, isn't he? He's going to move there. If yeah, and the thing is with the Fulham link, it's come from a credible source. It's come from Darmish on Sky. It was on their news. Yeah, I'm not sure. Steve says Hamer's pass completion is poor. He doesn't win anything in the air. That may be, well, because he's not tall, I'd imagine so. But probably makes him less attractive to the Prem. Well, he's attracting interest, mate. Fulham, and it's come from a credible source, but we'll have to watch this space, won't we? But listen, he's the perfect replacement for Brendan Aronson. He's arguably better than Brendan Aronson. I'm sorry. He is. And maybe that's because Brendan's had a poor season and he might go on to prove us wrong and do well in the Champions League. We'll keep an eye on him, of course, with the dearly departed. We'll watch some of the Champions League games that Union Berlin are in, as well as Roma, because obviously Diego Llorente. And let's talk about Roma and, of course, Rasmus Christensen, because that has gone awfully quiet, okay? Missing Rasmus Christensen offer update emerges as Jose Mourinho loses patience. Roma have still not made a firm offer to Leeds United to sign Rasmus. That came from Graham Smith. We know Diego Llorente is done. That was confirmed by Di Marzio and by Roma and Leeds United. Now, Di Marzio is top tier. He did say, the Sky Sports Italy journalist, he is, like I say, he's like to Italy what Phil Hayes to Leeds. So, yeah, the Sky Sports Italy journalist suggested that the two clubs would be working on a straight loan for the Dane in the coming week, but it appears an actual offer is currently missing. It has been longer than that week now, so I wonder what's happening. Jose Mourinho is out and said, I wanted him brought in ready for pre-season training, and apparently the special one is running out of patience on deals that haven't been concluded yet, including Christensen's. This happens a lot in Italy. The money isn't as readily available. We've seen before Conte walk out because at Inter Milan after winning the league because he wasn't backed and he ended up at Tottenham. Issues with money, yeah? Issues with money in Italy. Leeds United were battling for AC Milan for Charles de Ketelaere. If we're being totally honest, that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. Not because Leeds are small time. I'm just saying in terms of where we were in a division, having just stayed up on the final day, we shouldn't even be in a conversation against AC Milan. There should be one winner, and that is it. But ultimately, the cash is in the Premier League. Bournemouth, teams at the lower end, can challenge top teams in Italy and across Europe. One thing I have noticed over the last week or so is Real Madrid are going on a madness, and that just pisses me off even more because that Florentino Perez goes on like you would not believe. And it's just, like their skin and, the Premier League's such a badly, it pisses me off. Fulham take our sponsor, our pre-season to now players we want as well. That's the clamour of the Premier League. It is what it is. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on with Rasmus. I don't want him around the place. I'd like him to leave and hurry up. I don't rate him whatsoever, if I'm being totally honest. And I also think, like I say, we need to start clearing the decks so we can start to see incomings in. I think your two right backs are Ayling and Cody, and I think over the course of the season that's perfectly fine for Leeds United. I know a lot of you want to see the back of Ayling, but it just makes perfect sense for me to have both of them in the club, and hopefully Cody starting, and then Luke Ayling can offer more. Let's talk about Willy Gnonto. It's gone very, very quiet. Leeds demanding a fee, and there is interest, of course, because Aston Villa are reportedly interested, as are Everton. Okay, I think Everton would be a bad move for him, but ultimately it's the Premier League. And it does say, according to Birmingham Live, sorry, it just jumped all over then. It says Everton are leading the race to sign Leeds United winger Willy Gnonto amid Aston Villa interest. Aston Villa are understood to have made an approach. We know that they hold an interest in Tyler Adams as well over a potential transfer for the player. Gnonto's future has been a topic of discussion since Leeds' relegation to the Championship. He has also been subject of interest from Everton and Bundesliga Freiburg. Inter Milan, meanwhile, are said to be in the background and considering a move for the 19-year-old. Let's not forget that Inter Milan was where he started his career as well. So yeah, watch this space. A few journalists have been tweeting according to the article, but listen, we've not seen anything credible as of yet. We know that the club want to keep Gnonto. We want to keep Harrison. We want to keep Adams. Being realistic, I don't think we can keep any of them, if I'm being honest. I just think the clamour's too much for them. The players you could keep, if you wanted to, is the likes of Rasmus and that, but we don't want them, right? And just to finish up, just in case, there might be some more actually. The news stories are flying in. We'll touch on them as we go. I'll just check my Twitter notifications. See if I've missed anything on there, folks. Sports Witness have done and just by magic, look, an article's come out on Charles de Ketelaere. I don't know if it's an opinion piece. HLN court. So someone, unfortunately for the Whites, AC Milan were also keen, but the appeal of the European giants, who ended up paying less than what the Ellen Road side were offering, was just too good to refuse for the young Belgian. And a prominent figure. How mad's that we were talking about Charles de Ketelaere? It says here, a prominent voice at Club Bruges said Leeds would have been a much more logical step in the development of Charles than Milan. The season that he has had was written in the stars. Someone with his profile cannot just step into the world of AC Milan from a Belgian club. If the results are disappointing, Zlatan or Olivier Giroud won't be looked at, nor will the Italian players. The one looked at is the foreigner. Wow. 30 million. That Charles looked around and wondered, what is happening here? That is normal. However, the question should be, why didn't he want to make a sporting and mental switch first? He can be blamed for that. They're coming for him. As the newspaper put it, it's understandable that a young player being caught by the football legend that is Maldini will choose the option over Leeds, described as unloved city. Described as an unloved city in the north of England. I mean, who by? Who by? Big up to Smarty in the chat. Who by? Everyone outside of Leeds United. Unloved city in the north of England. Yeah, it says the belief is that Ketelaere had been able to wallow in the comfort zone of Bruges all his career, his whole life, and the jump to a massive club like San Siro residence was simply too big. Well, we'll never know, will we? We'll never know what happens, but it'd be interesting to see if he gets a move. Maybe he gets a lifeline. Maybe he gets to Burnley. You know, we know Vinny Company has a working knowledge of the Belgian market. Maybe he has a look at the Ketelaere. But they'll want to recoup some money. So it'll probably be a loan with a view to a perm. I'm not sure. But again, he didn't have a great season. But again, I think that's hard. Maybe he'd have done better at Leeds United. But I still think... No, I think it could have worked. I genuinely think it could have worked. Because had you played him instead of Bamford, we'd probably do better. But then you probably don't get more out of... you don't get as much out of Rodrigo as we did. So, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah, but... Just as we were talking about him, the Ketelaere slammed for not coming. New piece out then. West Ham at 70 million deal will free up 10 million man to leave United. 10 million. They're saying that we're getting 10 million for Marc Roca. Surely not. If that's true, if this price is true when the loan is made permanent, then we've had the pants down. So it says here, Leeds United's Marc Roca has agreed a 10 million move to Real Betis, but the La Liga outfit under pressure to sell before they can buy, with Luis Felipe's West Ham switch to potential solution for the problem. We need to make some good decisions. Let's have a look where it's saying about 10 million. How much did we pay for Marc Roca? Wow. Look at that. Underwhelming following his arrival from Munich a year ago. AS report that former Espanyol ace Roca has agreed to join Real Betis on loan with an option to buy clause in his contract set at 10 million. That's wild. I'd be all over that in a bloody month of Sundays. Do you know what I mean? How much did we pay for Roca? If we've got an increase in what we paid, that's insane. We paid 12 million for him. We paid 12 million for him. Yeah. 12 million according to Transfermarkt. Maybe it's 10. I don't know. Might be, oh, that's euros. That's euros. So maybe it could be 10 there or thereabouts. The fact that we get our money back on Mark Rocker is quite impressive, if you ask me. I'm still waiting to see. I'm still waiting to see how the 49ers operate. That's what I'm really looking forward to in terms of how they operate in the market. If you want Adams, pay us 40 million or go away. Do you know what I mean? That kind of vibe. We want that player. We're going to outbid Fulham. We're going to offer more money for him and try bring him in. So I'm quite excited to see how they operate. That's my thing at the minute. And if they've managed to agree a deal to get 10 million back for Rocker after the season he's had, I'm sound with that. I'm totally sound with that. For those that are asking how much was he on, again, it's money saved. We'll have a look. Just bear me 1 minute, and I'll share that with you. According to Capology, it's not verified, but around about 50k, and does have 4 years left on a deal. It's around about just over 2.5 million saved per year, and then if you're then getting a fee at the end of it, then decent. Andy, good point. Only an option, no go. Yeah, look what happened with Roma. Exactly. We need to make it like what is it? Not an obligation, not an option. But in order to get it over the line, it probably will be, an option to get it over the line. But maybe he plays well. Remember, I think Betis are going to be in Europe. Let me check. And this is important for Leeds United. They're in Europe. He is, right? Czechia is there, right? I believe. Them two don't go in the same sentence anymore, Joe. All the Leeds United and Premier League news. Yeah, no, I need to change that, bro. I need to change that. We play you on Wednesday, bro. We play you on Wednesday. Big up to Curtis anyway. Knowing him from long time, grew up with him. Mad times back in the day on Ashfield Gardens. I hope you're doing well, mate. And I hope your daughter makes it at Leeds United, and then you can't come for me anymore. All right. Because if she plays for the Leeds United ladies, you're an adopted Leeds United fan for when them games come. So big up to Curtis. Yeah, so Real Betis will be in Europe, right? So he'll go over there. He'll play better over there, like Keane says, because he's more suited to their style of play for me personally. And also, if he plays well in Europe, then Leeds United will, get that buy. And if not, it might be somewhere else. But at least he's been able to showcase his talent on the European stage. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Look, here's another incoming. Again, I'm not too sure on this. The reason I'm undecided is because I like Creswell and I don't want this player to stunt Creswell's growth. I think Creswell deserved minutes this season. Whether or not you agree it's starting or not, but apparently Liverpool have told Leeds United they are free to sign player Daniel Farke. He's desperate to bring in, but only if the West Yorkshire club agree to change their offer. So this will be on Nat Phillips. So Liverpool defender Nat Phillips also features on Leeds' list of potential signings. Farke is a big fan of the Englishman. Obviously, he played over there in Germany. Let's not forget, he got promoted in Germany. And he tried to sign him while he was in charge of Norwich. It does say the report reveals Liverpool are willing to sell after signing his surplus to requirements. That's fair enough. They've got Canate, Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez. I think Gomez should move on for the sake of his career personally as well, to be honest. Apparently, the two sides are not in agreement as of yet. Whereas Leeds would rather engineer a season-long loan deal, maybe again with an option to buy if we get promoted or an obligation to buy if we get promoted. Liverpool probably want him off the books. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Do we need to bring him in permanently? Maybe not. Maybe they're looking at it saying, look, he's championship ready. Bring him in, Creswell, get him to that level. And then we say, right, go back to Liverpool. We'll make Creswell number one. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure on the signing. Initially, I was happy, but then I'm just more conscious of Creswell, to be honest, because he deserves more minutes for me personally. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. But that's your Leeds United roundup for today, folks. I'll be back later on, hopefully. Just to let you know, as you can see there, Twitch link is in the chat, okay? I will be over on Twitch from about 12 o'clock for a nice couple of hours, just grinding some objectives, getting the level up players in, and just playing some games, man. So join me over there from about 12. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell.